through which we invite young professionals to come and learn the nuances of working the UN system, to be a part of our activities, so that they can be a kind of a very active contributor to the sustainability agenda that UN and its agencies are steering. At United Nations University, we are headquartered in Japan. We have 14 offices working on very specialized themes like digital innovation in Macau, China. We specialize in multi-level governance and multilateralism. We are sitting in Brussels, in the European in the capital of European Commission, and we have offices in Canada, Africa, Asia, and many other UN regions. We don't have an office in India. We are trying to see that we also facilitate these operations in India, so that our scholars, young scholars, and other scholars working on sustainability science can benefit. However, with the big presence of UN in India, through partnerships, we are trying to see that we can also host some interns from schools and colleges and universities of India to our different UNU systems. And I'll be happy to share with you more details. If you have an interest, just DM me. And I think that would be an opportunity for you to be a part of global family of young scholars. We also have a dedicated program for young scholars, Youngo. And if you get a chance, do sign that. We offer also financial support for young scholars to attend events like COP, high-level political forums, or similar big events where you can be an active contributor, you can voice your concerns, you can have a meaningful participation in activities, and be an active stakeholder in the sustainability journey. So I'll pause here. I will also give a chance for my co-panelist to introduce herself.
Okay. So, thank you. Thank you, Nidhi. I'm Stefania. I'm working for the Lombardy Foundation for the Environment, which is based in Milano, Italy. Milano is on the northern side, the northern western side of Italy, at the basis of the Alps, which are our mountains. They are less higher than Himalayan, but for us they are very important for the ecosystemic balance of all the southern Europe and more. Um, well, our foundation was created in 1970, 86, 10 years after a main accident, relevant industrial accident that occurred in the area north side of Milano, when a very important French pharmaceutical corporate exploded, and there was an emission of dioxin, and was that affected both the health of the people, the citizen around there, but also the safety of the environment. And that led both the regional administration to the concern of creating a research body in terms of in order to base the basic knowledge in terms of prevention of other relevant risk for industrial risk, especially this deadly industrial risk. And this also led the European Union to create a specific directive against the industrial relevant accidents, which was named after this accident, the Seveso Directive. Our foundation then was created by the regional administration and 5 major industries in Lombardy, and by now is mostly working in supporting as a technical assistant the regional administration in the policy cycle, in the whole policy cycle for environment, in the sector of climate change, biodiversity, territorial and landscape planning, and we are mostly involved in supporting them in outlining regulations and laws and implementing them in a technical from technical point of view. And then we are very much involved in European project planning, design, and implementation with the different kind of stakeholders from corporates with local communities, municipality, public administration, and so on. Um, and we are seeking for European Union funding, which are very interesting. I want also to highlight you because sometimes there are lines of funding which are open also for partnership to third countries, which means countries outside the Europe, not non-European countries. And actually, we are starting to involving partners from other continents with international lines of project planning, and we are really happy about this. Uh, Especially, I was very happy to come here because I was very curious, as I said yesterday, in understanding how to create a good cooperation with other cultural systems, in order to trigger values which are, in our experience, the basis of sustainability effectiveness in order to boost this transition towards a sustainable system, we first of all have to increase awareness and to move motivation in our destinatory of projects. And this is the most difficult thing. We have fantastic policy at international level, at communitarian level. We have the mostly solution in a technical way, in a strategic and a process way, but we cannot apply them. We are having, we are struggling in applying them. Why? Because people, as we heard before, uh, are really they cannot go outside their mindset, they cannot overcome their previous mindset, and this is really our point of main concern. Our project sometimes not succeed for exactly for this reason. They cannot trigger the motivation of people. And we are aware that in our Western mindset, in our Western point of view, sometimes the motivation is very individualistic, is very set on the personal profit, the very short-term profit, as we said in terms of politic powers, but it's really the same. And so it's difficult to answer to the question, why should I do this? Why should I put many energy in order to overcome and arrive to a different situation? It's very difficult, and a lot of people we are working with um, landowners and farmers and corporate owners are always asking us, why should I put invest money and energy when I won't see the effect of this investment? That's why I'm very curious and I listen very attentively in this days the session, and I'm very open and interested in the collaboration with the partners coming from a different cultural system. And I believe that India has uh, in its cultural heritage some DNA which is which can help us in setting a new model of thinking and working on values, you know. I will stop by now.
Okay, well, thanks for giving us an overview. And to keep the momentum in the room, let's try to make it a bit more interactive. I'm going to put someone in the spotlight. So you're raising your hand. So go ahead.
I could practice Stefania's point on, sustainability and awareness and how, you know, a lot of the pieces exist. What are the challenges? What are the solutions? How do you, kind of operationalize that? But you're struggling with the motivation and the mindset of the people. Yeah. As I see it from being in the private sector for 20 plus years, before I started like almost 30 years ago with a diploma in environmental law from WWF India. So it started, but then, I went into the dark side. I came back to the light recently. I think what is a little bit lacking in these discourses is that we're not solving the economic aspect of the equation. Any equation to balance, any balance sheet to balance, it needs to be A plus B plus C. You can keep coming at people with awareness, but you've got to make the connection with how it impacts their, you know. So I don't think personal profit is necessarily a bad thing. We are all working for a living. We all need to feed ourselves. Single use plastics are cheaper, so how are you going to solve some of those aspects? How are you going to create a green economy? And there are many aspects around that. But I strongly believe if we can change the discussion from awareness, which sometimes I feel can be a little patronizing
Mhm.
to these uneducated masses, and create something which creates a set of incentives and win win situations for everybody, uh, and can be green economy driven. Why can't a green career be a default career choice for every young person in this room? To take that first.
Yeah, just one very short point. I think this is absolutely fair. For example, the European Union is investing a lot in green transition and is giving a lot of funding for corporates, also forcing them with regulation right now in a very graduate way, not in a very not fastly, but they have to improve gradually and continuously. There are a lot of funds for also citizen. They want to pass for to renewables for little shops or markets, and
Change the and the
no, they're open through the regions, for example. Regions are, we were talking before, the key. In Europe, they are very important, but also in the international level, there are good organizations who are trying to improve, to boost the power of sub-national levels because they are closer to the citizen, to the problem, to the local problem, and they can find a solution. They can interact in the best way and give money, refund, some when there are issues like adaptation issues, some climate change. And so first, this is going to work very well. And through the regions, there are tenders open to citizens, to corporates, to different line of funding in order to arrive exactly um, to succeed to different specific issues, and this is also, I think, is winning because people can apply. on platform. They can find their tenders, and if they are interested, they can apply and have money directly, not passing through NGOs. But I think one point, which is really, I agree with you. We also always, sustainability is based on economics and societal issues and on environment, the three. We must keep the balance of the three of them. And so economical point is important. But we still, I believe, have to switch. And I'm talking about my context. I really merely know the Indian context, so I'm just referring to my country. We really need to switch from a personal, individualistic point of view in terms of also economic interests to societal, collective point of view. And this is very hard because sometimes, of course, you have to survive, but sometimes uh, you're not winning now, you will win next time. But it's important you are supporting the cause. And this is really a point in our perspective towards sustainability. We have to do this switch. That's why we are talking about values, work on values, not just with children, with young people, with the future, because we have to act, to have agency right now for the climate change. We still have few years in order to change direction. And we cannot just say young children, kids, youngster have to do their best. No, older people, active citizens, elder people, we have to do our best right now. We have to make the right decision, vote the right politicians, and to force them to move forward.
That's very well said, Stefania. And I think I'm going to pick two words, the word and value. So if I put a question in this room, do you know where your water in your tap comes from? Can you name that lake or that river or that watershed? So if you're so ignorant about how you're getting ecosystem services, which are important for your daily life, then that's the start point. Get to know things. In terms of incentives, I think that's another pick. I'm going to give an example of a project I was part of, and that's in Canada. For 5 years, um, we had an awareness campaign and lobbying with the government, regional government at the same time, provincial government. Like we have states, you have states, we have provinces there. We sort of negotiated with them that anyways, community service or community volunteering to spread awareness is people are putting their own time there, and it should be incentivized. And the government, over sort of some negotiation, said that they will issue green tax credits, and everyone wants to save that $500 or $1,000, and there was a very quick buy-in. More and more people were seen planting community gardens in the space around the church or wherever it was available. More and more people started participating in town hall discussions where you're discussing the future of your lake restoration, the lake next door, which you were enjoying, but you didn't know why government is doing what in restoring it. So you always get a coupon and you keep adding to your tax account. And at the end of the year, you have many coupons and you can go and bargain them for your tax reduction. So this is an incentive, credible incentive measure. And I think this is not something that will be achieved in overnight. Overnight, you need volunteers, you need people who are experts in some of these pathways to negotiate on your behalf. You need lobbyists, and I think things are possible. There are best examples around the world where community participation can be incentivized. Community volunteers system should be formalized. And in terms of, I think, knowledge systems, uh, those are other things that we should make a note of in our education curriculum. Our economic model is borrowed. So if we are able to customize our own economic model, we might find space for values, systems, things that are dear to us from a customer viewpoint, but also from the future that we envision for our country. In Canada, we go to schools as a UN agency and we do a visioning exercise. Where do you want to see your city? How do you want to create your spaces? And then we sell that vision to the municipal or the municipal commissioner, that these are some visions from people who are 10 years old. and who will be living in the city for the next 80 years, per se, the average age of Canadians. So they want to see these spaces. Can you create for them? And I think at least this kind of nudging, we call it in behavioral science nudging, at least leads to some desired outcomes, if not all. Well, I want to take your point.
That there is a loophole. I can say there is a gap in our society that youth, if they want to do for our society for sustainability, they don't know what to do and how they can do. So this is what we as a society lacks of. Okay, so if like myself, I myself is a part of JCI since 6 years. So I feel like there is a part of youth who wants to do. So one thing which I want to ask is that as a part of a community, how can we develop this sense of awareness in our youth, that how you can do for our society a little bit? And secondly, how a youth can get this awareness, like for example, me, if I want to get more into this organization or more into the sustainability thing, how can I get that, like, because not everyone can be a single man army. We need people around us. So how can we do that?
Uh, okay, take this first, shortly, and then I think your point has really surprised me. 30 years back when I was youth, I think I should have been making that point because we didn't know what to do, where to go, especially if you're not living in Delhi. And I think you are living in wonderful time as a young person. In fact, India had the best youth representation in the past COPs, and I can say that by observation. There are so many organizations. Look around, join networks. Just DM me and I'll connect you to a dozen. I was back in 2014 when we were sitting in high level meetings. I used to see no youth in the room. And then at that point, with FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, the UN, we started the world's first youth platform to ensure that they first get a seat in the room. And then over 10 years, we could see that they just didn't get a seat in the room. They also got a voice on the table. It took us 10 years. So I think it's a slow journey, but I'm happy to share with you dozens and dozens of entry points to be a meaningful partner in sustainable future pathway that UN and the other member states are leading.
Yes. Sorry, still I don't know very well the Indian context. Maybe Nidhi is more useful to this aim. In Italy, yes, I think the problem is the same as I can see. Young people go through their education path through the high school and then university. At the moment, for example, in foundation, where we only look for people with a PhD for any. Yes, it's crazy. I mean, uh, for any kind of work, in projects. I think we are pushing very much the attention on education and less on experience, and sometimes there are people who are making a lot of volunteering, and they travel, they try to work a lot, and they have a beautiful experience to bring to our work, to our job, and a lot of strength and resilience, and sometimes they are not selected. And I'm just talking about my city, Milano, and I don't know, I mean, maybe in other countries different, but we also have a very hierarchic and very rigid university system also. And I would suggest to join these programs. I don't know if Mobius Foundation is opening to youth in order to bring them to also international programs of exchange or other NGOs. Actually, I don't know your context, but I think you should try to make a survey and in this third sector organization, because sometimes they have a very interesting they belong into very interesting networks. They have a good partnership, and you can have a very interesting experience also in international exchange.
I I think with that, we'll call the session to a close. Thank you for your time, Nidhi, and it's Montana. It's Fontana, sorry. And it was very lovely to listen to your valuable insights, especially highlighting the role of youth in our future if you're talking of it to be sustainable. And I am very certain that you will be receiving a lot of mails, inquiries, and DMs from the youngsters sitting here, because they are very eager to work. They are enthusiastic to give their, but they don't seek. They can't find the opportunity like you were talking about. So I'm sure you will connect. And let's have a huge round of applause just for that. Thank you. Thank you for your time, ma'am. So with that, we have come to the end of sustainability Samvad for ICSC 2024. Thank you for your all. Thank you for your time, your patience, your participation, and your cooperation for all throughout. Thank you for bearing with me as well. Um, ah, no, no, thank you so much. And no, we're trapped for all of us, I think. Um, and I think next round of program is 7:30 is dinner. Yeah, so join us for the closing ceremony at Silver Oak, the hall upstairs, and for dinner at 7:30. Thank you.